What's good, guys? It's your man D-Man, and in today's videos we are going to be going over my top 16 quarterbacks in the NFC. Now this is just, we're just doing the NFC in this video. AFC will be probably later this week and or next week, but we're going to focus on the NFC here and mainly just who I'm projecting as the starters from each team. Some of these teams don't have clear-cut starters, but for them I'm just going to kind of project. However, if you're looking forward to the AFC quarterback rankings, don't you worry, it'll be posted soon and I'll have the link below as soon as I get it out. Okay, well, I kind of want to just jump right into it, so let's start with number 16. So in dead last is the Seattle Seahawks with Drew Lock. Now I put Drew Lock here because he's probably the most upside quarterback they have and could probably get them the most production. I say that if you look at some of his production, it hasn't quite been what you would want. His only year he really fully started, 2,933 yards, 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Those are all mediocre numbers, man. The only thing with Drew is he shows that flash potential, but then he's just inconsistent. So it's really hard for me to put him anywhere above 16. Now, if Geno Smith's the quarterback, I think I'd also put him 16, even though I think Geno probably higher floor, lower ceiling, much lower ceiling, slightly higher floor. But yeah, neither of these quarterbacks are great, so that's why the Seahawks are in last. 15, I have the New York Football Giants and Daniel Jones. Now, a prediction, I think Daniel Jones, if he puts up numbers like he did in 2021 or 2020, then he could potentially find himself on the bench at the end of the year behind Tyrod Taylor. Now that's if. Now if he plays like he did in 2019, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and can limit the fumbles, that's the big thing with Daniel, is the fumbles that always plagued him throughout his 3 years in the NFL so far. Is it 3 or 4? I don't exactly remember. It's been a while. It's been a while and he hasn't produced much, so it's a little concerning. The only good things that I really have to say about Daniel Jones is he does have some sneaky good athleticism, and he does have a lot of talent. Like, he can throw the ball decently well. It just seems like he's inaccurate at times, and or he just doesn't know how to read the defense. So those things, coupled with he's had bad offensive lines, it just makes me not so confident in him. Honestly, if the Giants had a much better quarterback, I think they could at least compete in their weak division, but right now I have the Giants at 15 at the quarterback position and probably lower in the NFC East as well. All right, now we're up to number 14, Marcus Mariota. Now, that might be a little higher than some people might have thought. Not much higher, he's only 14, but I think Mariota is sneaky good. Like, he's not going to be a good quarterback. I think he's going to be just like maybe a starter level quarterback. I mean, you look at his numbers, he can put up some yardage, but the real question marks the last 2 years he really started, which was 2017, 2018, is that he threw a little too many picks and not many touchdowns. That's a big thing. He's dealt with injuries and he's been a little inconsistent, so it's a little mixed bag with Mariota. And if some of those issues continue to arise, you could see Desmond Ridder getting some playing time by the end of the year. But if everything goes right, I mean, the Falcons have an interesting offense. They got some interesting, freaky athletic pieces like Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Cordell Patterson. So alongside Marcus Mariota, who people might forget how good he is with his legs. But I think this Falcons offense could be sneaky fun to watch. I don't know about sneaky good, but they could be fun to watch at least. All right, number 13, we have everyone's favorite ex-Cleveland Brown, Baker Mayfield. Now Baker, big knock on him in 2020, just too many turnovers, too many bad decisions. Didn't look like he had that pop on the ball like he did the last few years. However, I mean, he's a lot more talented, I think, that 2021 season showed. But my big knock for this year is I don't like the weapons around him. I mean, other than McCaffrey, who I think is one of the best weapons in football when healthy. The key word there, when healthy. He hasn't been healthy the last few years. So yeah, I think he might struggle, especially if McCaffrey goes down. They do have some weapons, but I'm not in love with that wide receiver core. They have a good wide receiver one, but after that, it's kind of, I'm not in love with it. I'm also not in love with the tight end position or anything else, or the coaching staff. So a lot of negatives for Baker here. So that's probably why he's so low. Number 12, Justin Fields. Similar to Baker Mayfield, I think Fields probably talent-wise might need to be a couple spots up. But I mean, you look at the production of 2021, pretty abysmal. 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. I know he didn't play the whole year, but it's just not good. Then I don't think his team got any better around him. That's my big issue. I think they got actually probably worse. But everything I've seen in the preseason, though, has shown me that Fields has gotten better. I just need to see how much better. And if this team around him can help him at all. But for now, Justin Fields at 12. It feels a little underrated to me, but at the same time, I don't know how I could rate him any higher, especially the situation he's in. Number 11, Jared Goff. Now, Goff, he's a solid quarterback. He puts up pretty good yardage. He usually has a positive touchdown to interception ratio. My dogs are going crazy back there. But my big issue with Jared is just some indecisiveness at times, and he just sometimes plays small in big moments. That's some of the big knocks on him, but some good things that are coming his way are that new and improved wide receiver core. I think they have a much better wide receiver core than last year, and they still got a good tight end. They got a good running back core. I mean, honestly, there's a lot I like about this Detroit Lions offense. We're going to see how the defense can play, but I think Jared Goff is in prime position to play very, very well, and that's why I have him all the way up here at 11. Number 10, and you could argue he's a little low or a little high, is Carson Wentz. Yeah, at 10, I felt like is a pretty good spot for him. He has a good offense around him. I mean, Dotson with, is it Samuel and Terry McLaurin? I mean, that's pretty good wide receiver core around him. I'm not so sure how I feel about some parts of the team. Like the running back room seems to be a little bit in question right now. And Carson has had a pretty bad habit of making bad decisions, especially last year. He had some pretty bad decisions last year. But Carson, talent-wise, at his best, is probably higher than 10, but his worst, his lows are probably lower. So 10, I think, is a pretty even spot for Carson. We'll see how we can fare in a new environment, I guess. He's already had that last year, but maybe he needed another. I don't know. Starting to kind of lose hope for Carson. This might be his last chance to be a starting quarterback if he kind of flops like he did with the Colts. Now, number 9, a little bit of a projection here, Trey Lance. Now, Trey didn't give you much to go off of in 2021. 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 600 yards. But my big thing with Trey Lance is he's shown that booming arm. He's shown that athleticism. The only thing I have concerns with is a little bit of accuracy issues that I saw last year. I'm hoping can be remedied. And the big reason why I have him at 9 and Justin Fields at 12 is because I believe in his coaching staff. That coaching staff has put in Jimmy Garoppolo in a chance to win Super Bowls. And I'm not the biggest Jimmy Garoppolo guy, so I think that's saying a lot. So that with his weapons, he's got Deebo Samuel, and there's just a lot of other things that kind of make me feel more comfortable with Trey Lance taking another step, even though I think he might not be as talented as Justin Fields. Well, maybe not talented. That's a strong word, because I think his arm talent's actually probably better. But I think they're kind of close in talent-wise, but really situational football, like the situation that is around them is way vastly different. All right, number 8, Jalen Hurts of the Eagles. Now, Jalen Hurts took a massive step forward, I felt like, at the end of 2021. Where his coaching staff kind of seemed to be calling better plays. It just seemed like the offense got better and ran way more smoothly as the season went on. So I'm hoping that carries into 2022, especially with the addition to A.J. Brown. That is a big addition for Jalen Hurts. I think Hurts could maybe take another step. I don't know how much more he can go up the ladder here, because his arm talent isn't the greatest. His athleticism obviously is very, very good. And he's a big dude and hard to take down, and he's a winner. That's what he's been in college, high school, everywhere. He's been a winner. So him and the Eagles made the playoffs last year. I expect them to kind of be in that hunt again, so we'll see how they play. Number 7, famous Jameis. Yeah, Jameis, whenever he's healthy and playing, can put up some yards. He's got the arm talent. He's got all the athletic abilities. The only question marks we've had were the mental. He seems like he just misreads defenses at times, throws too many picks, tries to push a little too much. But, I mean, 2021, the beginning of 2021, before he got hurt, he kind of was showing me something new. He was being a little more careful with the ball, wasn't trying to just push, make the big play. He was playing in that Saints system like he was supposed to. I mean, and the numbers don't lie. 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions is better than anything he could have been putting up before that. So that's a big reason why I think Jameis might take another step. I think he could be in the next group of quarterbacks if he continues this 14-3 2021 season that he was doing. But I really just need to see it. He has all great weapons around him and a great just culture built into New Orleans. So we'll see how Jameis plays. I think he could be really, really good, but we'll have to see. 7, I think, is a solid rating for him, though. All right, 6th place. Kirk Cousins, a guy that gets a lot of flack, and I think is pretty grossly underrated right now. If you go off of the NFL Top 100, I think they had Mac Jones over him. That doesn't make a lick of sense. Kirk is putting up basically 4,000 yards the last 3 seasons, and he's been putting up about almost 30 touchdowns a season as well. I mean, the last season, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's great. Now, I will admit, Kirk Cousins does kind of shrink at times and seem to just play check down ball and just get some yards instead of making the big plays. And that's some criticism he's had. But love him or hate him, Kirk Cousins is probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC, I think, especially since the NFC is so weak. And I think the Vikings should be competing for that playoff spot with him. Number 5, Dak Prescott. Now, I'm a little concerned about this pick because Dak has lost a lot of his weapons. He lost, Cedric Wilson. Michael Gallup went down with injury. I don't know how long he'll be out. I think James Washington has had some injury issues. So there's a bunch of question marks with that. But Dak has proven that he can throw for some yards and he can get some production. Now, how much production with a weakened wide receiver core, time will only tell. But, I mean, Dak's talent-wise has to put him at 5. And even though I'm not so feeling great about the situation, I think I'm going to keep him at 5 over Kirk. Number 4, though, has to be Kyler Murray. Now, Kyler Murray is electric. He's a fun player to watch, and I think he could maybe take another step that we haven't seen him take yet. I'm not so sure it's going to be this year, especially with DeAndre Hopkins being out. What is it? Is it 8 games? 8 games. Wow. I think it's around 8 games. But if he's out that long, Kyler could struggle, even though I feel like they have a solid wide receiver core, even without DeAndre. But early on, you can see him struggle maybe a little bit without DeAndre. But Kyler Murray, talent-wise, he's clearly number 4. Then we have 3, which is weird, isn't it? Isn't it weird to put Aaron at 3, especially in the NFC? I mean, the last few years, he's just torched them. 48 touchdowns, 37 touchdowns, and he hasn't thrown over 5 picks in the last 3 years. And I'm putting him at 3? Well, to be fair, the other 2 guys above him are very, very good as well. But the main thing with Aaron is that receiver core. You can argue they got deeper, but they got less talented as well, because you take out probably the best receiver in football for the last few years, Davante Adams. Wow. Oh, I can't talk. But you take out Davante Adams, and it's going to be some growing pains for Aaron. I don't think things will just go smooth, but I think Aaron will figure it out, and he's got plenty of options to figure it out. I think they've added, 2 rookies, Sammy Watkins, and yeah, I think that's basically it. They added 2 rookies and Sammy Watkins, but I think all 3 of them could play a part in this team. We'll just have to see how well they mesh with Aaron. Number 2, Matthew Stafford. I mean, the man just won a Super Bowl. He outdueled Tom Brady. To get there, it was magical season. Almost threw for 5,000 yards. The dude was cooking last year, and some minor concerns coming out of training camp about some elbow soreness. However, I'm not too concerned about that. If you remember, Dak kind of had that issue last year, so I'm not going to be overwhelmingly concerned. What I will be concerned with is I think they're worse at wide receiver when it comes to their wide receiver 3. But I mean, look, dude just came off a Super Bowl. He's in one of the best systems. He has one of the best wide receivers in football. I don't see any reason why he should be under number 2. The number 1, as much as it pains me to say it, Tom Brady. Yeah, Tom's probably the GOAT. He's won like everywhere he's gone. I say everywhere he's gone, he's only been at 2 teams, but still, it feels like he's won almost every year. And last year he put up ridiculous numbers at what, the age of 70 or whatever the heck he is. But yeah, Tom, until I see him physically decline and like actually decline, unlike all the like cliff theories that people have been saying, then I have to put him at 1. I feel like this Buccaneers offense is still one of the most like elite in the NFL too. And you add that to one of the greatest winners of all time, and I can't put him any lower than 1. But yeah, that's my list. If you disagree, leave your list down in the comment below so I can kind of compare and contrast. And if you like the video, go ahead and throw me a thumbs up and maybe even a sub. So the subscriptions really help, especially early, since I need to build a little bit of a following to get YouTube to notice me. But oh well, I don't really care. I am just doing this for fun and doing this just out of my free time. But if you like the video and you want to support the channel, you can always subscribe and like. And also, I do stream live on Twitch. Haven't streamed in a while, but I've been a little busy. But I will start streaming again soon once my microphone is fixed. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.